In episode 3, we ran a real backtest on BTC USDT and the results looked incredible. 1308% return, 4 times better than buy and hold. But we also flashed the one number that will stop most people from trading this strategy live, a max drawdown of negative 78%. That means at its worst point, a $10,000 account would have dropped to around $2,200 before recovering. Almost no trader, professional or retail, can psychologically hold through that without quitting. And if you quit during the drawdown, you miss the recovery. In this episode, we are going to fix that. We will go deep on the metrics that actually matter for a live strategy, the Sharpe ratio, max drawdown, and profit factor. And then we will implement position sizing and stop loss directly into Python to bring that drawdown down to a level you can actually trade. Most traders focus on 3 numbers: total return, win rate, and number of trades. These feel important, but they are actually incomplete without context. A strategy that made 500% last year could be completely untradeable if it required holding to a 90% drawdown to get there. Here is the framework professional quants use instead. Every strategy is evaluated across 4 dimensions. The first is the return, which asks the question, how much did the strategy make? The next is the risk, which asks the question, how much pain did it cause? The next is the efficiency, which is about how much return per unit of risk, while the last is the robustness, which asks the questions if it can work across different periods and assets. Our episode 3 strategy scores well on return, but poorly on risk and needs works on efficiency. Today, we fix dimensions 2 and 3 using code. The Sharpe ratio is the most widely used metric in professional trading for comparing strategies. It answers one question: how much return are you getting for each unit of risk you are taking? The formula is straightforward. Take your average daily return, divide it by the standard deviation of the daily returns, and multiply by the square root of 252, which is the number of trading days in a year, to annualize it. Our episode 3 strategy produced a Sharpe of 0.76, and here is how to interpret that in context. If the Sharpe ratio is below 0, what it means is that the strategy loses money, so do not trade. If it is between 0.0 to 0.5, it tells you that it is weak and it barely compensates for risk taking. If it is between 0.5 to 1.0, it tells you that it is acceptable. That is, our strategy sits here at 0.76. And if it is between 1.0 to 2.0, it tells you that it is good and it is worth trading with proper risk management. If it is above 2.0, it tells you it is excellent and it is an institutional grade performance. So a Sharpe of 0.76 is not bad for a crypto strategy. The asset class is inherently volatile, which makes high Sharpes hard to achieve. But we want to push it above 1.0. And the primary way to do that is to reduce volatility in the equity curve, which means reducing the size of our losing trades. The next is the maximum drawdown, which is your strategy's real pain level. And the maximum drawdown measures the largest peak to true loss in your equity curve. It is the single most important risk metric for a live trader because it tells you the worst case scenario you would have experienced during the backtest period. And here is how to calculate it properly, not just as a single number but as a full drawdown series so you can chart it. Our strategy's max drawdown of negative 78% happened during a sustained BTC downtrend where our short positions were not firing correctly, and this is the number we are going to attack with position sizing. Next is the drawdown benchmarks. Drawdown benchmarks of less than 10% is extremely conservative and it is hard to achieve in crypto. 10 to 20% is excellent for crypto and it is an institutional grade risk management. 20 to 40% is acceptable and most professional crypto funds operate here. 40 to 60% is high risk and it requires strong conviction and deep pockets. Why greater than 60%? Very few traders can hold through this psychologically. Our target is to bring the 78% down to below 35% without sacrificing the return. Two more metrics worth adding to your evaluation dashboard before we start fixing things. The first is the profit factor and is the ratio of the total gross profit to the total gross loss. It tells you how many dollars you make for every dollar you lose, and anything above 1.0 means the strategy is profitable. Above 1.5 is considered good. Next is the Kalman ratio, and the Kalman ratio divides your annualized return by the absolute max drawdown. It is a quick way to see if the pain was worth the gain. A Kalman above 1.0 means your annualized return exceeded your worst drawdown. Next is the position sizing, which is the most powerful risk tool. And position sizing is the practice of only deploying a fraction of your capital on each trade, rather than going all in every time. It is the single most effective way to reduce drawdown without changing your entry and exit logic at all. Our episode 3 engine deployed 100% of capital on every trade, and that maximized returns but also maximized losses. We are now going to replace that with a fixed fractional position size, risking only a set percentage of equity per trade. By deploying only 25% per trade, the remaining 75% of capital sits safely in cash. And when a trade goes against us, we only lose a fraction of the portfolio, not everything. There is always a trade-off. Smaller position size means smaller drawdown, but also smaller absolute returns. The goal is finding the position size where the Sharpe ratio is maximized. Enough return to justify the risk without the equity curve becoming too volatile to hold through. Next is the stop loss, that is, cutting losses before they cut you. A stop loss automatically closes a trade when it moves against you by a defined percentage. It is the second major tool for a drawdown reduction and it works alongside position sizing, not instead of it. And here is how to implement a percentage-based stop loss inside the backtest loop. The stop loss check once before the signal check on every candle. If price drops 5% from our entry, the position closes immediately, regardless of whether a sell signal is fired, and this caps the maximum loss on any single trade. Now, when it comes to setting your stop loss, the percentage you choose completely changes how your bot behaves. So let me break down your four main options. At 2%, you are being very tight. Your stop triggers frequently, which protects you from big losses. But the downside is you will rack up a high trade count, and a lot of those exits will be false alarms. At 5%, this is our starting point, and the one I recommend for beginners. It is balanced and it cuts meaningful losses without overtrading. At 10%, you are giving the trade more room to breathe, fewer false stops, but you are accepting larger drawdowns when it does it. And at 15%, you are essentially only protecting against catastrophic moves. It rarely triggers, so you need to be confident in your entries before using this. The right stop loss percentage depends on the volatility of the asset and the time frame. For BTC on a daily time frame, a 5% stop is tight but reasonable. You can test different levels using the same backtest engine and compare Sharpe ratios across them. Here are the actual numbers. Same strategy, same signals. Just two changes. 25% position size and a 5% stop loss. Look at what happened to the drawdown. Negative 78% became negative 9.4%. That's not a typo. Every metric side by side. Return dropped from 1,387 to 184, and that is the cost. But look at what we got in return. Drawdown from negative 78 to negative 9, and the win rate from 37.5 to 75. The Sharpe from 0.76 to 0.98, and most importantly, it is tradable live. Let me walk through exactly what drove each improvement. The drawdown dropped 88% because position sizing capped how much capital was ever at risk on a single trade. And the win rate doubled because stop losses cut low bidders before they compounded into large losses. And the Sharpe improved because the equity curve is now smoother, so that is, there is less violent swing. Here is the honest lesson. Risk management does not make a strategy better. It makes it survivable. We gave up 88% of the return to get 88% less drawdown. And 5 stops out fired and each one did its job. 37.5% win rate became 75. And that is the system working exactly as designed. You now have a complete framework for evaluating and improving any trading strategy. Sharpe ratio tells you efficiency, max drawdown tells you the worst pain, and profit factor tells you the quality of your wins versus losses, and karma ratio tells you whether the pain was worth the gain. More importantly, you now have two tools to improve any strategy that has too much risk: position sizing and stop losses, both implemented directly in Python and tested against real data. In episode 5, we move to module 3, which is the algorithmic trading. We connect to a live exchange API, build a real-time signal engine, and execute trades automatically. Everything we built in module 2 becomes the brain of a live bot. And the full code of this episode is in the description. If you want a pre-built bot with these risk management systems already inside them, you can check out Chaincircle and the link is below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.